Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the channel. I am Atone. This is aToneTarot. Cancer, you are tuned in for the topic of what plot twist moments are going to occur between now and the end of the year. As you can see, I have a couple of decks here with me. We're going to break down your message with the Egyptian God Oracle. I'm going to pull one card to get the overall theme of what plot twist messages you need to be aware of. I will then pull 10 cards from my tarot and 5 from this relationship oracle, because you know what? This season is upon us where we come together to break bread more often than usual with the holidays, the winter solstice. So what plot twist moments do you need to be aware of, Cancer? Let's get up into your message. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you could, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. All right, Cancer, let's see what plot twist moments are going to occur between now and the end of the year. I hope all is well with you guys. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. But let's see what the Egyptian Oracle has for my Cancer collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. One card, please, for my Cancer collective. Devastation. All right, Cancer. Devastation. That's interesting. Let's get up into it. Let's see what's going to happen with my Cancer collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you need to know? I'm going to pull 10 cards from the tarot. So some devastating event, secret thing may occur and pop up on my Cancer's radar between now and the end of the year. Now, again, I don't mean to trigger anyone, set anyone off, scare anyone. It's not like that. But we got to get up into the message if you're here, right? And see what thing may arise between now and then the end of the year. A family secret is what I'm really picking up on. Something comes up and out with my Cancer collective. That may be very devastating. But let's see. Spirit, what plot twist moments?
It's 11:20 a.m.
Yeah, I didn't say spirit. I mean Siri. That's word. All right. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Cancer collective. What plot twist, event, information, situation? You know what? I saw the Judgment card too before I even... That's interesting. All right, Cancer. Two more cards, please. One more card for my Cancer collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. All right. So, Cancer, you receive the Page of Cups in reverse, the Two of Cups in reverse, the Page of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Three of Coins, Judgment, the Knight of Coins, the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Cups in reverse, and the King of Cups. Let's get up into it, Cancer. So, I mean, the overall theme for that came out in the Egyptian Oracle is continuing over into the tarot. This is giving some childhood, like, traumas and things that might have occurred in your childhood, or I don't even want to say may have occurred with or involving your children. Yeah, it's something you definitely don't enjoy looking at. My condolences to this Cancer collective, because there's a hurt little boy or girl walking around challenged with how to work through some of these revelations that might be coming to the surface inside of you, Cancer. But it's coming to the surface because there is a desire, there's a calling, there was a wake-up call. Something changed and said, you know what, this is your fork in the road moment, you better get with it. Do you hear the message? Because it's been maybe shown to you in a few times, a few ways in the past, and you had your opportunity to get your skin in the game and get yourself together and learn said lesson, right? Yeah, Cancer. It looks like, though, I will say, with this Queen of Wands and this King of Cups here, you create a nice fire and ice balance, right? Be careful not to overindulge in alcohol with this Nine of Cups being here. Maybe a relationship that went sour, something that was new that you had high hopes for doesn't turn out the way that you thought it would. You know how those new exciting relationships, I'm talking about something within a span of 6 months. 6 months, y'all was rocking, everything was great. It's that honeymoon stage, right? And it doesn't pan out, work out in the way that you planned, and it brings you down, Cancer. It brings you down. It makes you sad. It makes you really, excuse me, not so pleased with what is before you. So the ending of, or the transitioning out, or the realization of a relationship that is relatively new, that's not going to work out, it causes you to learn a valuable lesson about how you move forward and who you attract as it relates to partnership. And again, don't be too hard on yourself, Cancer, that you start to overindulge in whatever your weakness is, whether it be drinking, sweets, being around the wrong people. That's what I'm picking up on in this Nine of Cups energy. You know, you get with people that you haven't seen in a long time, and maybe you pick up a bad habit, and you just think, okay, it's that time of the year, I'm just going to do this right now. Don't do it, Cancer. Don't do it, because you're at the precipice of, like I said, creating that nice fire and ice balance here with that Queen of Wands, King of Cups energy. The King of Cups is your court card, Cancer. So, and that is at the outcome of my overall read for these cards. And either someone along the way helps give you some confidence to champion you across the finish line of something that is devastating that occurs in your life between now and then, or you've already started to see the cracks in the foundation, and this reading is confirming maybe something that's coming that you're going to have to work through. But you receive support, Cancer, with this Queen of Wands being here, where someone encourages you, supports you through. Maybe it's a friend, um, a relative that has some gems and keeps you upbeat and out of your feelings and out of the bottle, away from the bottle or the cookie jar, you know, because some decisions need to be made, if not already are being made on your behalf. Like you have no choice. It's now or never, and you are fully aware of that. Cancer is what I'm picking up on. You're like, look, too much or too many people have gotten involved, and before it goes to this level of worse, I need to stop this now, right? Or something going on in your life where you're like, I'm just not happy with how my life is arranged, and there are certain people that I need to separate from, or people that are exiting out of my life that I thought would be there but are not. Like, it's given, like I stated earlier, that 6 month early honeymoon stage, everything's great, and then when you get closer and closer and you spend more and more time with this person, you really get to study them a little bit more. It ain't what you thought it was, and you're like, damn, I thought I was getting this, but that's not what I got, and I ain't feeling this. So, you might receive some messages around a lesson of leaping too fast into a situation. That's also a message I'm picking up on. But like I said, you receive support. There's somebody there in the background championing you on. Like, don't worry about it, Cancer. You gonna be all right. You've done worse. It could be worse. Someone's cheering you up and helping you see the brighter side of things while you go through this devastating course of events or things that you have to deal with in your life, right? Again, I'll say to you, as I've said to my other signs, lift with your knees, Cancer. Life is hard. We peel back layers, like I stated, from our childhood or dealing with children. Those are sensitive topics, and we may at times avoid addressing and dealing with certain things that have occurred and happened to us that have or could have and do have major impacts to us and or our children, right? Excuse me. What I'm saying is, you, Cancer, could be looking at how even you were raised in relation to how you raise your children, and you may not be happy with what you've been doing, and you want to rearrange some things, or some things were rearranged inadvertently for you with this judgment card being here, and you're like, man, I should have never got involved with this in the first place. And it's pulled your life in such a way where you have to really sit. And I recommend that you sit and say, you got to learn to live with regrets. You live and you learn. You take the good with the bad, and you keep it moving. And I like to call this out. If this is not your message, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know what I mean? But if it resonates, drop a comment. Let me know. Fill in some gaps for me. But I'm really picking up on some children or childhood things that have occurred that you're peeling back the layers on, and really giving some observation, study, review, and emotional outpouring to, that is or will help unearth why maybe partnerships don't flourish past a certain point, or you don't go to a certain point with people in your life. Just the workings and the interworkings of life are causing you some reflective moments, Cancer, where you got to make some judgment calls, and you're wanting to look at the lessons that you've learned and slow down and really determine how you're going to progress forward. And it looks like I said, you receive support, or you have someone there championing you along despite how difficult it may be. But be mindful of overindulging in this holiday season, or someone around you that you have to deal with, or you're responsible for, maybe overindulging, and it's causing you some stress, right? Someone around you that you care for deeply, they're cooler than the other side of the pillow, but they have an addiction, and you're trying to manage around that and deal with that in such a way that it doesn't impact your life negatively. So, let's take a look at the relationship oracle to dig a little deeper on this message for my Cancer collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's see what's going on. Yep. I hope all is well with you guys out there. Let's get up into this relationship oracle for my Cancer collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And if this message is not resonating, Cancer, go check out your Rising as well as Venus to piece together, any plot twist moments that are going to occur between now and the end of the year. I also would like to hear potential topics. What do you want me to tap in on? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? One more card, please, for my Cancer collective. Okay, Cancers, you receive old school addiction, sword and rose, backstabbing, karmic relationship. Again, let's go from right to left with karmic relationship being here. Remember, I opened up your message with you peeling back the layers of some childhood traumas and looking at how you interact in relationships and how that translates into how you behave in relationships, whether it be romantic, your family, your children, things like that. There's a karmic relationship that is at the focus or will pop up and unearth some things for you, Cancer, between now and the end of the year. You may not want to look at it. Backstabbing, for some reason, I didn't get a person backstabbing you. I get you like taking the knife to yourself. Like you don't want to look at it. Nope. So because you are to some degree heartbroken, and it can be difficult to manage the rest of life going on around you while being heartbroken. So you like, I'm not doing that. That would be turning the knife. That is the message that I got when I saw backstabbing come out. Not that a person did something to you that is on the level of betrayal, but you not necessarily, or you wanting to try to avoid giving the attention necessary to something that has occurred that is triggering, traumatizing, and has some layers to it. Cancer. I'm just putting it out there. The sword and the rose, you know what I mean? You getting some clarity and some truth, and you know it's there. Is, you know, you receiving certain even intuitive messages saying, you know what, something from the past is popping up that you didn't even thought about in 20 years. It's like, where did this come from? With old school being here. And again, addiction. This is spirit reiterating, be careful not to fall prey or fall into, because you're trying to avoid dealing with some layered emotional things, Cancer. You fall into an addictive spirit or way. So, and it can happen gradually and quietly. And or like I said, you dealing with somebody who's been around you and you love for a long time that is battling with addiction. And you have to manage between those two environments of a person, right? Like a person who is drinking or a drinker, they do kind of possess this sword and rose behavior. Like there's two different people that show up sometimes. Like the sober person is this, and then who might be very cutting and nasty and truthful with their word, and just very piercing, throwing daggers with their word. And then when they're sober, they're sweet as pie, or vice versa. You know, I'm picking up on some of that. So, and this person again has probably been a backdrop in your life for a long time, right? And you might be just conditioned to this relationship and being around or involved that you don't even realize the layer of possibly trigger trauma issue that is underneath the surface, and it begins to pop up. And you might want to deal with that, Cancer. It's a recommendation, not a requirement, because if you delay these types of things, they just fester, grow, right? And become even more devastating for you. So you can handle it, you know, ground yourself, pray, meditate. And again, I'm not trying to diminish, dismiss, or make light of anyone's situation, because just being aware of what is going on in this world and observing from a different lens myself, I see, hear, feel even the struggles of other people, and it is heavy. So Cancer, you are no exception, and my encouragement and support goes out to you, Cancer. And this is your message. Until next time, I hope that this helps. Peace.